The Fixed Liberty podcast is presented by the Fixed Liberty Project, where we explore the fundamental principles of liberty and morality upon which a free society stands and thrives. Learn more and sign up for our free weekly email newsletter at fixedliberty.com.
Welcome to the Fixed Liberty Podcast. Today is November 12th, 2022. I am your host, Ross Brown. Thank you for joining us on the show today. We just wrapped up another round of elections here in the United States of America, and that's a great thing. Right? Political liberty is the freedom to choose how we will be governed. And not everybody across the world enjoys such liberty. So we should never take that for granted. As annoying as politics can be, and enduring the season we've just endured with all the political ads, boy, I'm always happy when it wraps up, but we should never take it for granted. What we do need to do is keep it in proper perspective. We need to have a good, proper, healthy perspective on our elections. I maintain that there are no political solutions to our cultural problems in America, but there are cultural solutions to our political ones. I've pondered that idea for many years, and in fact, such a maxim propelled me to publicly launch the Fixed Liberty Project back in 2020. I still subscribe to the notion, so I naturally head into every election with a pretty cool-headed perspective. I understand that no matter the election outcomes, our problems will persist, and that it is more important for us to hold fast to the right ideas than any political party or particular candidate. But nevertheless, elections do matter because leadership matters. As a matter of principle, we the people can do anything, but what we will do largely depends on leadership. So I do vote, and I encourage others to do the same. Now, we Browns are a homeschool family, so I had the opportunity to take my three kiddos, ages 9, 7, and 5, with me to the polls this week, and I enjoyed showing them how the process works. First, I show my ID to prove my identity and my residency here in Verona, Wisconsin. Next, kiddos, I obtain my ballot from the next station. Then I go into the little booth, little private booth where I fill in the small circles to officially cast my votes for particular candidates. After that, I walk over to the ballot counting machine and I insert my ballot. That's when I officially vote. That's when I cast my vote, quite literally. And then, yes, after that, very exciting, I get an I voted sticker. And yes, kiddos, you can have a future voter sticker too. So it was a neat process, but as we climb back into the car, one of my kids asked me a most reasonable question, but it caught me off guard. The kid asked me, "Dad, who did you vote for and why?" One reason I thoroughly enjoy the Fixed Liberty Project is that I can live in a world of ideas. Here I can indefinitely embrace and explore idealism, nuance, broad perspectives, facets of consideration, deep conversation, and competing ideas. And I find few things more satisfying than this kind of work. But politics, on the other hand, is quite the opposite, right? You vote for either candidate A or candidate B. And despite what they might tell you, every candidate is human. And according to Romans chapter 3, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So, admittedly, sometimes I struggle with candidate imperfectionism at the ballot box. Thus, answering my kid's most reasonable question was actually a real challenge for me. I was forced to find clarity in my voting rationale. As I eventually explained to my kids on the car ride home, I voted for candidates whose values seemed to be more closely aligned with my own than do the values of their political opponents. And that's it. I voted for closer alignment, not perfect alignment. As I've soaked on this rationale since Tuesday, I've come to appreciate its beauty. Such a perspective keeps politics in its rightful place. Candidates are neither gods nor saviors. None of them are worthy of our worship or dependence. Furthermore, when the gospel is our fundamental context, who we vote for does not define our identity. Reasonable and decent people whose identities are secure in Christ can vote for different, imperfect political candidates and remain passionately united on fundamental gospel principles. Unfortunately, for decades, American culture has idolized politics and elections. In so many ways, we the people live today in the wake of this false worship. Our problem is thus cultural, not political. Solutions aren't found at the ballot box, but in our own hearts. When our proper love of God grows bigger than our idolatrous love of politics, cultural solutions to our most pressing problems are found, and our politics becomes a lot healthier too. Human nature dictates that each of us will worship something. Contemporary culture reveals that politics makes for a poor God. So yes, vote and participate in political processes. Just keep it in perspective, friends. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Fixed Liberty Podcast. I'll see you next time.